Aloha. In this video, I am sharing why you may be resisting your best life or saying no, either consciously or subconsciously. Plus, I'm going to be sharing 5 ways that you can overcome these resistance habits. I'm Julen, founder of Finding Your Fiji and the Love Your Life program, which helps you stop spinning your wheels and start taking action with confidence and clarity to live your best life. So let's jump into this. I want to first talk about why you might be resisting or saying no to your best life. And I can hear some of you saying, I'm not saying no to my best life. That's what I want. But we sometimes do things that prevent us from moving forward in our lives, which that forward movement or flow is really where our best life is created, right? So some of the ways that you may be resisting, and whether you're doing this consciously or subconsciously, doesn't really matter, but in your mind, you may be saying, or you may be even saying out loud, I can't do that. I don't know how. I've never done it before. So that may be one way. Another way that you may be resisting your best life is feeling afraid or worried about taking a particular action, particularly something that is outside of your comfort zone, right? And third way is that you may be wanting to stay in control or in charge of your life. And I want to share a little bit more about that, right? Because we have often had things that occurred for us in our youth when we were children or when we were younger that made us feel that doing X, Y, or Z isn't safe. And it doesn't mean it's logical, right? It's often just something that occurred in our past or our childhood. And so it's our inner child or our small self that is saying, oh, that's not safe. Don't do that. It's not safe. Don't do that. And it can cause us to try to maintain control or some semblance of control in our lives. And I think about this in terms of people that maybe, and I'm sure you know someone like this, where they just really like to stick to their routine. They really don't like to try new things. They are wanting, not to go to new places, that type of thing. And it's really to maintain that control in their life. So they feel like they're in control. And I say feel like because we're never fully in control. Logically, we also know that because there are things that happen that we don't have any control over. I think about Hurricane Ian and that coming in and how people who were impacted by that didn't have control. They couldn't protect their homes. They couldn't protect their property. They, in some cases, couldn't protect themselves. And so we are never fully in charge, but our small self, our inner child, really wants us to be, right? Wants to hang on to control. So that's another way that you may be resisting, is just trying to maintain control. Another way that you may be resisting your best life or saying no in your life is because you think you're not good enough. Oftentimes we get to a place where we're judging ourselves before we even take action. We're judging ourselves like what we're doing right now in this moment isn't good enough. And that can be a problem. The other thing that sort of circles back to this whole control piece is not wanting to be uncomfortable. And I think about this just like going to, I used to go to a lot of in-person networking events, but going to an in-person networking event where you didn't know anybody. And it's very uncomfortable, right? To go into a room full of people and you don't know anybody and to have to talk to them about your business, make conversation, that type of thing. It can be very uncomfortable. And even just going there by yourself, I think about this with travel. A lot of people are very uncomfortable traveling alone. I used to be that way, but I got really comfortable with it when I used to work for an insurance company and I had to do a lot of travel by myself. And so, just in the act of doing that again and again, because I traveled a lot for work, I got used to it, right? I got comfortable with it. So the way that you get comfortable is by doing. It's not going to get more comfortable just by talking about it, right? And so by doing it. So let's kind of shift gears now and look at ways to overcome this resistance. And when I'm talking about resistance, it is this resisting the flow in your life, resisting your best life, because the flow, following the flow of things, is where your best life happens. Okay. So the ways to overcome resistance. Number one, assume competence. We just had a guest teacher here on the island on Maui. I live on Maui. And I play improv, and we had a guest teacher that did a workshop for us for several days before we had our show last night. And one of the things that this was Micah Sherman, it talked about assuming competence. So as it relates to when you're in a scene, it's about assuming that you know how to do something. Because you're in a made up scene, you can be, do, or have anything, right? I'm thinking of a specific example when I was playing a scene and my scene partner wanted me to make a souffle. And I immediately started out, I don't know how to make a souffle. I just made you eggs. Why do I want a souffle? Because when you shift that, that stalls things, right? When you say no to it, it stalls things. And it does the same thing in a scene when you're playing a scene. So assuming the competence, what I did then is I shifted and I said, oh, sure. Yeah. I've got eggs, I've got that, and I assumed that I had everything that I needed to make the souffle and that it was fine, even though I just made an omelet or whatever it was for my quote unquote child in the scene. I was happy to make a souffle. So it moved things forward. So that's what also saying yes does. And I will put a link to that other video that I did about saying yes and instead of no, because there's some good information in that video that talks a little bit more about saying yes. But saying yes, assuming competence, moves things forward. And the thing about life and competence is that you truly can figure things out, right? You are smart. You are able to figure things out. This just happened to me the other day. I work with the International Feng Shui Guild. I'm on the board and I'm working on a YouTube project for them. And something came up. It's a new app that I've never worked with. And I was having a little bit of trouble figuring it out. But I did figure it out. I was able to find some videos and some help and some different things, and I was able to figure it out. So you are smart. You can figure it out. And along with that, I want to say the second way to overcome resistance is to know that you are supported. This is something that I talk about often. You have a whole team of angels and guides that are here to support you. So not only do you have support in the physical, you have people that you know that can help you. You have Google, you have YouTube videos, there's all kinds of different ways to get help, but you also have help in the non-physical, right? You have a whole team of angels and guides that are there to support you and assist you. And in the non-physical, it is done. What you want to create, what you want for your life has already been created. So it's really just up to you to open up and allow that flow. And part of that opening up is saying yes and not resisting what is being brought to you, right? Okay, so that's the second way to overcome resistance. The third way to overcome resistance is to remember that the most fun and growth happens when you let go and surrender. I'm sure you've heard the phrase before that life happens outside your comfort zone. And this is what I'm talking about. The growth happens when you do things that are outside of your comfort zone, when you let go of having to control everything, when you allow yourself to surrender and to open to what is being brought to you. So think about it this way, as if you're on a roller coaster, right? When you're on a roller coaster, you're strapped in, usually there's like a hard metal bar that goes around over your waist. You know you're not going to fall out. You feel free to put your hands up in the air, right? You feel free to let go. And this is the thing that having faith, knowing that you're supported, that your angels and guides have your back, when you know that you're supported and you're safe, you can let go. You can put your hands in the air. You can allow yourself to flow down the ups and downs of that roller coaster, right? That is where the growth and the fun happens in life, when you let go and when you surrender, right? When you're trying to control everything, it just blocks the ability of your angels and guides and the universe to line things up for you to create your best life. Okay. The fourth way that you can overcome resistance is remembering that discomfort does not equal death. I know that sounds pretty harsh, but lots of times we can be uncomfortable and move through it. The lesson with this one is allowing yourself to feel what you're feeling. So don't ignore the discomfort. Don't sweep it under the rug, but feel it. Allow yourself to feel what you're feeling and then move through it. Still take action. So there was a book, I can't remember who wrote it, but Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. It is about moving forward. And that discomfort, just because you're uncomfortable, and I think about this with people that play improv, we're not completely comfortable on stage. We do still get nervous, but despite the discomfort, we still take action. We still get up there, and it's a lot of fun. And there's a lot of growth that happens through that, right? So allow yourself to feel and move through that. The fifth way that you can overcome resistance is owning your value and your worth. So you want to play your life at your highest intelligence, at your highest capability. And this was also something that came through in that workshop, is play to your smartest, your brightest self, like at your highest intelligence, at your height of capability, right? And this is understanding that you are a powerful being, right? You are a powerful, what I like to call co-creator, because you're creating your best life, not alone. You never do anything alone. You have your angels and guides and also people here in the physical that help you create that life, right? And so you're not having to do it yourself. And if you desire it, you deserve it. I'm going to repeat that again. You might want to write that one down. If you desire it, you deserve it. There is nothing you have to do to be worthy or to feel worthy to deserve it. And then the last thing that I really just want to share is that you have the power to stop resisting your best life. You have the power to start living your best life. And it's really something that you can do to move forward with ease. You can stop second guessing yourself. You can stop procrastinating, and you can start taking action with that clarity and confidence. And of course, sometimes you do need a little bit of help. So if you really want to jumpstart your life, join me on my retreat in Costa Rica in January. We're going to spend a week together. We're going to be applying these concepts of improvisation to your life. And how do you actually use this in your daily life? We're going to get a lot of practice with that. We're going to get practice letting go. We're going to get practice saying yes. We're going to get practice being comfortable, even in a little bit of discomfort, and owning your value. So all of those good things, really good stuff. And this is a way to really shift your life fast. Spending a week, like an intensive week like that. And it's not intensive in that you have plenty of free time. We are also going to be doing other activities that will move you forward, but it's a focused period of time where you're focused on yourself. So that's one way. Second way, if you cannot make it to Costa Rica in January, is to apply for my Love Your Life program. And I will put a link to that below. That's really about taking things a little bit slower, more step by step, more methodical. And you're going to be developing a deeper connection with your spiritual angels and guides. You'll be learning how to remove those energetic blocks. You'll be learning how to create an environment that energetically supports you and the things that you want in your life. And all of this creates more flow for you, right? So that taking action becomes easy and fun, right? So not resisting, saying yes, let's go for it. And we'll see you on the next video.